Gentlemen, Donald Trump wants to build a bridge linking the United States, specifically the Florida Keys, to Cuba, to turn Cuba into a luxury tourist destination.
Castillon Confidential by Albert Castillon.
Welcome, how are you, confidentials? Thank you for the strength, encouragement, and drive you give to this channel. Keep spreading the word. Growing is what keeps us alive, and thanks to you, we're growing faster every day. Friends, there are updates on Venezuela, and we will be telling you about them throughout today's program. The main one, perhaps, that Polo Carvajal is already preparing the documentation. He has already been named as a witness against Nicolas Maduro. And from there, let him follow the trail until it leads to Rodriguez Zapatero and Pedro Sanchez, and many more who were supposedly financed with drug money. Hugo Carvajal is going to tell everything, and that's the news from Venezuela for now, but there are many more, and today we'll tell you the details. But allow me, because Cuba continues to be a point of reference on the stories we break here that aren't widely reported. The rest of the media are all very cautious. When what we talk about here is sometimes confirmed 5 or 6 months later. The debate, my friend Alejandro Entrambasaguas published the day before yesterday what we told you here 5 months ago about Rodriguez Torres knocking on Edmundo Gonzalez's door with Zapatero to become transition president. It's good that well-informed colleagues like Alejandro give credibility and viability to our information and endorse what we've told you here some time ago. But what about Cuba? Yes, there is a plan. The first step of that plan was signed last week. The limit that the United States has set for Cuba is a maximum of 1 year. They tell me 11 months, but let's say 1 year to hold free elections. And regarding the idea that they might deceive again, as the Castro government has done many times to the United States, I believe that this time, with Marco Rubio leading, the United States won't be fooled. He knows Cuba's past. Fake elections with candidates appointed by the regime won't work, no. Here, the discussion is about what to do with the Castro government, with Diaz-Canel and with others. And that's where they are, not stuck, because the operation is still moving forward and the United States has started to help. They tell me that in a month or a month and a half at most, there will be everything they need in Cuba. The help they need to survive will arrive. It will be the first step to see that the negotiation is working. Until now, that help came from China, from Putin, or from the European Union. Now the help will come from the United States because the United States has reached a preliminary agreement with the Cuban government. But we've told you all of this. What we haven't told you yet, and today I think is the day to tell you, it's also an injection of hope if you live in Miami, if you're Cuban, or in Spain. It's a way to lift morale with something that's true and that we can confirm is on Donald Trump's mind. And look, if we've learned anything, it's that this man does whatever he sets his mind to. Yes, sometimes he's a loudmouth, but he keeps his word. He did it with Nicolas Maduro, and he's doing it with Cuba. And this project I'm telling you about is an obsession for Donald Trump. That's what people close to him tell me. They tell me that Donald Trump has 2 obsessions. We know one of them, winning the Nobel Prize. You know, that's true. He's obsessed with it. And even though Maria Corina Machado gave him hers, it's not the same. You know what I mean? So, That obsession is there. The truth is, if people like Obama won it after getting us into a war, then it's better for Trump to win it after signing so many peace deals. But that's one. The other obsession is the one we're going to talk to you about today. It's an obsession that's been on the minds of Cuban exiles in Miami for a long time. A long time. There's a video that was made with artificial intelligence that explains this obsession very well. It's a video from some time ago. This one. Here you can see what it would look like if Cuba were connected to Miami by a bridge. You can also see how that Cuba has prosperity, yachts, well-kept streets, and luxurious boats. Well, what would be a great city, what Cuba and Havana used to be in the past. A great city before communism arrived and wrecked it and destroyed it and killed its population. These AI-generated dreams have never happened. There has never been a written plan drawn up by technicians and engineers to build a bridge between Miami and Cuba. The project has never even been carried out as far as we officially know. Until today. Gentlemen, Donald Trump wants to build a bridge between the United States, specifically the Florida Keys, and Cuba to turn Cuba into a luxury tourist destination. The project is in his head and he has already started working on the first drafts. More than just drafts, I'm told. We're talking about if the bridge started from Key West, there are already many bridges there that go from island to island, not from key to key in the south of Florida. If it were from Key West to the coast of Cuba, it would be the famous 90 miles. And I've been there looking at the marker and staring at the horizon to see if I could see anything. 90 miles, just over 145 kilometers across the Florida Straits. According to the information we've been told, the seabed in that maritime area is stable and solid enough to build a bridge. The maximum depth would be the sea in the Florida Straits would be about 3,000 meters deep, which is not out of reach. There are oil platforms that are anchored to the seabed at much greater depths. It's the bridge Cubans and Americans dream of most. And Donald Trump wants to carry out this project quickly and as soon as possible. As soon as Cuba becomes a democracy and stops being the dictatorship it has been for 66 years. What is the overall project? Because Donald Trump goes further. Why build a bridge? Well, first to rebuild all of Cuba. Buildings, power facilities, highways, roads, railways. Everything so that Cuba becomes a livable place again and not what the Castro family has turned it into. Deep down, Donald Trump sees the island of Cuba almost like another state of the United States. At least he wants it to work as if it were. And the project is purely for tourism. They want to turn the island of Cuba into a luxury high-end tourist destination with the best hotels and the best facilities. They've designed it that way so as not to harm the Dominican Republic, which in the end, because of its lower prices, would always have its own audience and its own tourism. We're talking about different things, different destinations that wouldn't be in competition. Friends, the project exists. They've got the idea. What you're seeing is the design this humble program came up with. And I assure you that soon we'll know something. And we'll have much more professional designs made by the engineers on the US team who are already working on it. In the end, the obsession of a man, his conviction, his strength, knowing that he is right, is capable of moving mountains and seas. Can you imagine that in a few years we could travel by car from Key West to Havana? We will see it. Welcome, we investigate.
Castillon Confidential by Albert Castillon.